Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am seated next to my husband, Matt.
Good morning, everyone.
Matt.
Yes. Hope everyone had a happy 4th. We're recording right before. It's going to drop right after the 4th of July.
250.
250.
250. Go America. Oh,
Speaking
go USA.
What episode are we on?
194.
Yeah, 194, 195.
195? Man.
We're on our way to 250.
Wow, 250.
So let's jump in.
Yeah.
Because today's podcast, this episode is going to be, we've done 194 and 95 of these. This one's going to be different. So we've never done this before. And what we normally do, if you've been listening to us for a while, what we'll do is we'll have a notes and we'll talk about fitness. We'll talk about relationship. We'll talk about nutrition, mindset. We've even been doing real estate since I started doing real estate, relationships, really anything that helps you impact your life. I mean, the name of this podcast is
Ignite Your
Impact.
You're so cute.
Yeah, I know. Well, I haven't had to prepare much for today. That's why I'm not ready. So I'll get into why I haven't. So after over the last several months, it's heated up over the last several months. One topic has completely taken over our conversations inside our gyms, our Snap Fitnesses, inside the Phoenix Method, with our coaching clients, with friends, with families, and even complete strangers. Everyone wants to talk about peptides.
Yep.
GLP-1 medications, hormone therapy, recovery, longevity. The list goes on and on. And honestly, there's a lot of noise out there. And some people think that
a lot of useless noise.
Yeah. Some people think these therapies are miracle drugs. Others think that they're dangerous. Some think they're cheating. Others think it's the future of medicine. I mean, these are all the conversations that we're having. So today we're going to answer the questions that we get almost every single day from all the strangers, the family, the friends, the clients. And today is not a sales presentation. We're not here to talk anyone into anything. In fact, if someone listens today and says that, hey, this is probably not the right path for me, then that's a win. Our goal is just education, because we believe better information leads to better decisions. So here's why I said this is going to be different today. This is going to be an interview. I'm going to be the interviewer.
Watch me slowly start to blush.
And Jen's going to be the interviewee. That's why I said I didn't have to come up with much today. I just have to come up with questions. And I already know the questions that we get asked all the time. So Jen, just full transparency, Jen does know a couple of the questions, but I have a lot that I haven't really reviewed with her because I want this just to be an honest conversation around things that we hear about every day. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
Start over. I'm the host. You're my guest. Today is an interview.
I think you should do like an intro, an MMA intro.
Here's your intro. I'm going to jump right in. I think a lot of people assume that we woke up one day and said, all right, let's start offering peptides.
Let's do it. Why shouldn't we?
But that could be further from the truth. So where do we, I want you to, and obviously this question's coming. Where do we actually begin?
Yeah. Honestly, this started because I was looking for answers for myself. I've spent over 20 years coaching people and in the fitness space, almost 25 in the supplement space, right? In that health and wellness space, helping them lose weight, build muscle, gain confidence. But somewhere along the way, my body changed and the same workouts weren't producing the same results. Recovery was definitely not the same. Sleep was a long forgotten friend. Energy wasn't the same. And I remembered thinking, I know what to do. Why isn't my body responding?
Was that frustrating because you are the coach?
Yeah, it was humbling. It was absolutely humbling. I remember thinking, I feel this way. How many other women feel exactly the same? Right? So that question turned into curiosity. And it's funny because that very similar question turned us into the fitness space. Like if I'm having this many gripes about my gym and struggling this much about my gym, I wonder if someone else has the same gripes and struggles, right? So that question turned into curiosity, which turned into research. lots of research, listening to physicians, talking to endocrinologists, learning about longevity medicine. And I wasn't looking for peptides. I was looking for answers.
Yeah, I remember this was not a quick process for you and me, especially you. And you didn't decide to do this after reading one article, obviously.
No, not even close. Not even close. I spent almost a year learning, interviewing physician groups, researching pharmacy partners, reading studies. Oh my God. You're like, can you come to bed, please? Asking really hard questions, because our reputation has been built over decades, and I'm not willing to recommend something simply because it's trending.
Yeah, I would chime in there saying that's probably the reason we've been so slow, because of our reputation.
Yeah.
We just had the reputation for trust, and we've been slow. So, but looking back at this, what would you wish someone would have told you?
Honestly, that my body wasn't broken, right?
Yeah.
Even when we first started working with our own doctor, I remember that conversation. We first started having our telehealth with each other together. And I'm like, can you leave? I need a minute. I need a real minute here to get super real and not be the strong one anymore. Like, I needed somebody to tell me my body isn't broken. It's changing, and it's changing by the minute, right? And changing simply meant that I needed a different, evolving, that's the word, strategy.
Okay, so before we go any further, what actually is a peptide? I think a lot of people hear that and they immediately think Ozempic.
Yeah, exactly. That's where most of the confusion starts, right? A peptide is simply a branch chain of amino acids. The building blocks of protein, the building blocks of
stuff that's already in our body.
It's already in, like, amino acids are free floating already in our bodies, right? Most people know amino acids are the building blocks of protein. And when they're linked together in smaller chains, do you remember like the bucket of monkeys?
I do.
Barrel of
Because I can
there's
see
not
you doing
a
it.
Bucket. Barrel of monkeys.
If you're not on YouTube, you can see her doing this.
Branch chain amino acids are literally like linked like a barrel of monkeys, right? That's okay. That's another podcast for another day, breaking down protein.
I'm gonna have to keep
and
you
why.
on
I know. God bless
target
America.
today, aren't
Okay,
I?
when they're linked in smaller chains, they're called peptides. Now, here's the important part, right? Peptides act like messengers inside of your body, right? It's just a text message inside your body. I want you to think of your body as a huge company, this entire company, right? Your brain, your muscles, your metabolism, your immune system,
All different departments.
your nervous system, right? They're all constantly communicating, right? Peptides are just a part of that communication system. They are like text messages telling different parts of your body what to do. Ooh, peptides are like the Slack channel.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone knows what Slack is, though.
Okay.
That's our messaging system we use, but yeah.
It's great. You should look into it. But it is. It's like they're messaging different parts of the company. Different peptides send different messages.
Okay.
Following me?
I'm following you.
Yes?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Some regulate appetite. Some increase appetite. Some regulate blood sugar. Some increase blood sugar. Some are involved in tissue repair. Some signal hormone growth release. Some are being studied for healthy aging, right? Different messages, different jobs.
So when someone says I'm taking peptides or a peptide, that really doesn't tell us much.
No. And let's be honest. We've got peptides now coming in our hair care. So are you eating your hair care? What does that mean? It's like saying I drive a vehicle.
Okay.
Awesome. Is it a motorcycle? Is it a truck? Is it a sports car? Is it a tank? They're all vehicles, right? And they all serve different purposes. The same is true with peptides.
Yeah, and earlier I said when people say they hear peptide and they think Ozempic, but that's just one category.
That's actually just one piece of one category, right? So GLP-1s have gotten all the headlines, obviously because they've changed the conversation around obesity and metabolic health, and they came fast. They came really fast. Let's be honest, friends. But this is just one chapter of the story, right? Some peptides focus on metabolic health. Some peptides focus on mental clarity. I need that today. Hello, wake up, Jenny. Others are used in discussions around like recovery after injuries. Some are around hormone signaling. Others are around healthy aging. Others are around like hair and skin care, right? Cognitive performance, right? So the reason, obviously, I get a little excited because we're starting to realize that peptides aren't about one goal. They're about helping different systems of the body communicate more effectively. So when someone asks, should I take peptides? My first question is always, guys, say it with me. What's the goal? What are you trying to accomplish?
So really the goal determines what the tool is going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes multiple tools.
Okay. So you've done some research. You've learned. What made you finally decide we need to offer this?
Oh my God. And I'm still learning.
And I will cut back and say, Jen has, she won't say this, but she's a freaking expert in this. I know a lot about it, but I'm playing this interviewer role because I know these are the questions that we get. But she does know a lot. So go back into why we should offer this.
So our clients honestly made that decision for us, right? Almost every week someone would ask, like, my doctor recommended semaglutide, which is Ozempic. Or my neighbor started doing peptides online in gray market, right? Or my med spa offers this. What do you think? And people started bringing me products and regimens that they'd already purchased. Some didn't have physicians. That's a red flag. Some had no follow-up. Another red flag. Some didn't even know exactly what they were taking and how to take it. And when I get pissed, when I get pissed off enough, I take over the whole goddamn thing myself. And I realized whether we wanted to be a part of this conversation or not, our clients already were.
Yeah. So you spent a lot of time and effort. Obviously, we've done talking about the research, and then you spent a ton of time putting together a network of, pharmacies, doctors, nurses, the whole system. But this wasn't about creating another business for you and I.
No. It became about education. First and foremost, I am always about education. So if you come to us for that education, thank you. Even if you don't coach with us, I hope I am a value add. And I hope Matt is a value add, right? If people were going to explore these therapies, I wanted them to do it safely. So even before we jumped into this game, 3 years ago, I had a client come to me. He had been on Ozempic. His doctor prescribed it. It is for his control of his diabetes. He's never going to be able to get off of it. And he says, what do I do? I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come up with a plan because I'm not going to shit on what you're doing, but we've got to have a better strategy than just what your doctor left you with.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted them doing it safely. I wanted them working with licensed medical professionals, and I wanted them asking the right questions.
Yeah, and that's why you spent so much time choosing the right partners.
Exactly. Yep. I was not looking for someone to just ship medication. It's not what I'm about, right? I was looking for physicians, licensed pharmacies, medical oversight, education, support, and then systems for actual daily application. Because healthcare should be a relationship, not a transaction.
Yeah, but if someone says, hey, I'm just going to purchase the peptides online, why shouldn't I do that?
Honestly, I would ask them, would you rather buy a product or have a healthcare team? Because they are two totally different things.
Yep. All right. So now I want to transition. So I basically, the questions that I was asking Jen was to set up a little bit what I would call authority to let you know, hey, she knows what she's doing. So now I want to get into some...
And she's a little bit of a control freak.
Now I want to get into some questions that I know everyone is going to definitely have. So this is going to be like a lightning round. This is going to be a myth, fact, or it depends. So those are your options. Myth, fact, or it depends. And these are questions that we get every...
This is going to be hard.
These are questions we get every week. So are you ready?
Keep me on track.
Are you ready?
Yes. Are you ready to keep me on track?
All right. We're at 15 minutes. So
let's do it.
Let's roll through this. GLP-1s cause muscle loss.
It depends. If you're not strength training and eating an adequate amount of protein, you can absolutely lose lean mass during weight loss.
Okay.
With or without GLP-1s. Now, because of the receptor in the brain that it attaches to, better word choices, Jen, it's going to speed that up. So with the right plan, our goal is to preserve muscle while losing fat. It's why I make my clients weigh in daily, check in with me weekly, and we scan monthly, right? That's why we coach body composition, not just the scale. Okay. I want to know what that composition is made of.
Next question, and you hit on this a little bit earlier, the person who's taking Ozempic for a specific disease. But if someone goes on something, you're going to gain the weight back every time when you stop.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. Like if nothing changes except the medication, weight regain is possible, right? If you didn't learn the lesson while you were doing the thing or didn't have systems to teach you while you had this assistance, right? If you've built muscle, improved your nutrition, and changed your lifestyle, you're giving yourself a much better chance of maintaining those results. And also, I stair step how I walk clients through, right? I always talk about it like a freeway. What's your on-ramp? What's your off-ramp? Because we can't do this forever, and I need you to be able to be self-sustaining. So would I like people to be buying product from me forever? Probably. Ooh, but that just makes me feel yucky inside.
So next question, and this is one that I get a ton, and I think it's more of a male question. Maybe it's not. We'll see. Are these steroids?
No, and that is a very common misconception. Think of it this way. Hormone replacement therapy, HRT, replaces hormones in your body.
So you're talking like hormone replacement therapy for women, like even testosterone for men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
HRT, TRT, right? Replaces hormones in your body, hormones that your body isn't making enough of, like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, right? That's number one. That's HRT, TRT, right? Next is anabolic steroids. Anabolic steroids flood the body with synthetic hormones, often shutting down your body's or slowing down your body's own natural production.
Which is why we see so many people who took steroids that have so many health issues.
Yes, later in life. Yep, because it stopped a natural process from occurring. Peptides are different. They're more like messengers, right? They're signal-specific functions in the body, like appetite regulation, appetite increase, right? Recovery, sleep, growth hormone release. It all just really depends on the peptide.
Okay, so when you're looking at hormones, steroids, peptides, one replaces, one overrides, and one communicates.
Amen.
I think that's the way to sum that up.
Yep.
Okay.
3 very different tools, right? Which is why the first question is never, what should I take? It's, what problem are we trying to solve?
Yeah. So one thing we haven't talked about is, honestly, that hormone therapy. Where does that fit into this? Because I think a lot of people hear hormones and hear peptides and they assume they're the same thing, which you kind of said they aren't.
Yeah. They're very different conversations. And this also made a huge difference in my own journey, right? So hormone replacement therapy or testosterone replacement, HRT, TRT, is replacing hormones your body may no longer produce in adequate amounts. So peptides aren't replacing hormones. They're generally signaling to your body to perform certain functions. So sometimes someone needs hormone optimization. Sometimes they don't. Some peptides are appropriate. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's nothing, right? And that's why a proper medical evaluation matters, as well as like blood work.
Yeah. So it comes back to, what's the goal?
Yeah, exactly.
Next question. Everyone should be taking GLP-1s.
Myth.
Okay.
Myth. They are incredible tools for the right person. They really are, but they're not appropriate for everyone. That's why medical evaluation matters.
One that's out there.
And the specific one that you are prescribed, it also matters.
Yeah. One that is out there in the news quite a bit, and you hear it from a lot of influencers. I'll be nauseous all the time.
Myth. For most people. There's my caveat. Some people experience nausea, right? Especially early on, but with proper dosing and adjusted dosing, hydration, nutrition, and communication with your provider, it can all minimize side effects, right? So again, with my clients, I am constantly checking in. How are you feeling? What's the biggest thing you notice right now? Any struggles? Anything that like is exciting that we're going to talk about, right? So the goal is not to push through. It's to work with your healthcare team.
I want you to hit on the next one. I want you to hit on this a little bit. I'll have to stay on them forever.
Depends.
Okay.
Absolutely depends. Depends on why you're taking them, right? Some people are treating chronic medical conditions and benefit from long-term therapy. I just posted about how peptides were helping my osteoarthritis.
Yep.
Like within day 5, I was feeling a noticeable difference. I'm making it a long-term therapy, right? I don't want to go back to the way I was feeling, but others, again, if we're just trying to get through a weight loss goal or some kind of a performance goal,
muscle building,
or an injury or muscle building, like what's the season you're in, right? Seasons have beginnings and seasons have ends. So again, it's like using them as a part of a broader plan while building sustainable habits, right? So, but that's a conversation between you and your medical provider.
All right, next one. I'll never be hungry again.
Myth and myths.
You answered that pretty quick.
It's a myth. Okay. It's a myth. We all know how hangry I can get, right? The goal is not to eliminate hunger. Hunger is normal. Hunger is your brain's way of saying, yo, need a little help here, right? These medications are designed to help regulate appetite, not erase it. We actually want clients eating enough to support muscle, energy, and recovery. So
right.
Again, it's not a overload with just protein. We need those carbs and fats. Guys, we need those carbs and fats. You better be fucking eating them.
I'm going to start cutting you off like they do in real interviews.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay.
On this next question, this is probably lightning round. Next question, I'm going to ask it 2 different ways. It's the same question in general. If I take and again, we're talking about GLPs here generally, but I will lose my butt or I will lose all my muscle. Those are questions.
Are you worried about losing your butt?
No, but that is a question I get from females.
Yeah, I actually get this question more than you think. And again, it depends, right? Rapid weight loss, whether from surgery, crash dieting, medication, right, can all reduce muscle and body fat if you're not intentional. That's why resistance training, actual resistance training, find load, actual load. Bands aren't going to do it, right? Resistance training and protein are non-negotiables in our coaching. All
right, next question, because this was a big one for me personally. It's a big one for me. These medications are cheating. Yes or no? A fact, a myth, or depends?
Can I ask you a question?
No, I just asked you a question.
No, I would like to answer with a question.
Okay, that's not how it works, but go ahead.
Are braces cheating?
No. Yeah.
Interesting. If someone wears glasses, are they cheating?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to say it's a myth, right? If someone takes thyroid medication because their thyroid isn't functioning properly, is that cheating? Healthcare isn't cheating. The goal is to remove barriers, not replace effort.
All right.
I still need you doing the things.
Next one. I can eat anything I want if I'm taking one of these.
Huge myth. Because it's signaling to your brain, you don't actually want all that. It's a huge myth, right? You might lose weight for a while if you're just kind of like eating like an asshole. But if you don't change your relationship with food and truly understand how all of the macronutrients are meant to support existing systems in your body, you're missing the biggest opportunity that these medications can give you.
All right. So next part of this lightning round.
Oh my God, I suck at lightning round.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's like a 45-minute podcast.
No, we're good. So, because I'm almost done with some of my questions. This one's another lightning round, but these are questions that people are afraid to ask. These are things that people will ask us after everyone's left the room. That's why I want to transition to that. What if I'm afraid of needles?
Honestly, most people tell me after, that really wasn't as bad as I expected. We had a couple touch and go moments on FaceTime, right? But the needles used for many injectable therapies are very, 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 very small. And we make sure that the people are comfortable and understand exactly how to use them before they ever start. Conversely, some therapies are now also available in a pill form.
Yep. Right?
This technology is moving so fast that the easiest way to get the medication in your body is injectable.
Yep.
It really is.
Next question. This is another one gets whispered. And I think it's because people are embarrassed about it, but they shouldn't be. This is lifestyle. You need to talk about this. Can I still drink alcohol?
You can. You can. You know, I love me a cocktail. But many people find that their desire to drink changes. Alcohol can also worsen side effects like nausea or dehydration for some people. We really have to worry about dehydration. And that's something that we discuss individually based on your goals and your health.
Okay. If someone specifically, I would gear this more towards maybe a GLP than anything else that any other peptides, but can I still build muscle if I'm on these?
Absolutely. In fact, that's one of our biggest priorities, right? If you lift consistency, prioritize protein, and 90 grams of protein is not prioritizing. Okay. Sorry.
Next question.
And you recover well. Muscle can absolutely be built during this plan.
Next one up is, can men use the GLP-1?
Yeah. I'd say about 40% of my clients are male, right? Men deal with insulin resistance just like women, right? They deal with obesity, metabolic disease, recovery challenges, hormones, right? The conversation looks a little different sometimes, but the principles are still the same.
Okay. Next one. I'm only trying to lose 15 pounds.
Cool. Awesome. The number on the scale does not determine whether you're a candidate, right? Your health history, your body composition. You could only want to lose 15 pounds, but you're 40% body fat. Fair?
That makes sense.
Right? Your metabolic health. All of these goals go into this thing other than just an arbitrary number.
The next question I'm going to let you answer, and then I've got an answer on it. But this came so quick. Is this just a fad?
No. Some of these peptide medications have been studied and used clinically for years, right? We're just hearing about them because they're getting so much attention from the media. That's it. Not the underlying science. The science has been there.
Got it. All right, I'm not going to say it now. I had something else I was going to say.
You can say
it. I equate this more. This is going to come off the wrong. It's going to come out wrong, but it is like the tech boom. It is not going away. Everyone thought the technology that was coming out was going away. It was a fad. It is not going away.
I remember talking about this 2 years ago, I believe, on a podcast.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, like, I had to wrap my head around this quick because it was coming. And I mean, there's still members that come up to me daily. Like, I heard you just started doing peptides. You know, I've been on them for about a year. I'm like, awesome. How can I support you?
Yeah. So next question, because it off the last one about, is this a fad? Is this just for celebrities?
No, definitely not.
You're going to laugh at that one.
I mean, I'm a celebrity, right? No, definitely not, right? The reason you are hearing about celebrities is because they brought it into the spotlight. Yeah. Fox News just did a story on Red TrueTide, and I'm like, shit. Now it's going to increase lead time. But the people I work with are teachers, business owners, CEOs, parents, retirees, right? Healthcare workers. Hello. They're just real people trying to feel better.
All right. Because I brought up celebrities, I'm going to ask you this question as well, because we've seen some really bad stuff out there, and it's titled the Ozempic face. What is that?
The Ozempic face is essentially when you are losing so much weight without proper hydration and protein therapy, essentially, you will lose a lot of the fat storage in your face, in your arms, right? To where why we want to build that muscle up is so, yes, if you lose weight, you're still going to have a shape afterwards, not just sag.
Yeah. I want to bring that up because I know that's been in the news quite a bit lately.
Yeah. And some people are actually having it removed, which that makes me, anyway. Not here in Kansas City,
moving on.
Right?
Next question. What if I don't qualify?
Then we find another path, right? We find another solution, and that's okay. Your medical history may prevent you from being able to use peptide therapy. I have a client that had, her thyroid is jacked and she can't. So we found I'll find another solution. My job is not to make sure everyone fits into a medication, right? It's to help every person find the right solution for what they've got in front of them. We're figuring out the right tools to work with. Sometimes that's coaching. Sometimes that's nutrition. Sometimes that's hormone optimization. Sometimes that's physician-guided peptide therapy. Sometimes it's none of those.
So what would you, I'm trying to figure out how I ask this. What question would you wish people would ask you that almost no one does ask you?
I wish people asked, why did my body change? Because we spend so much time asking and answering, like, what should I take? Instead of, what is my body trying to tell me? And that's where the real transformation begins.
Okay. Last phase of this podcast.
I promise I will stay on task.
I want you to finish these sentences. And when I say finish them, it's like with one sentence. Okay. You got to finish this sentence. The biggest mistake people make is
starting before they understand their goal.
I figured yeah. Next question. The most important habit is
strength training.
The most overlooked nutrition or nutrient is
protein.
Okay.
Meat.
The best investment isn't.
The best investment isn't. Oh, the medication, right? It's the system. It's the coaching that teaches you what to do with the opportunity the medication creates, right? Your teeth are going to go back if you don't wear your retainers.
All right. So this is even quicker answers.
Gosh, okay.
Can peptides help with more than weight loss?
Absolutely.
Recovery?
Potentially.
Healthy aging?
Yes.
Okay. What about hormones?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I'd like to add more.
Okay. Go ahead.
So hormone optimization is its own separate conversation, I feel.
Okay.
Right? But peptides and hormone therapy can complement one another in the right person under physician supervision with the right system.
The next question comes up because you talked about sleep earlier. So the question is sleep.
Depends on what's causing the sleep issue. Absolutely.
Okay. Energy?
Potentially. Again, the goal determines the therapy.
Okay. Let's make this practical. So the person listening right now, this all sounds good, but where do I fit? Because everyone's different, but there's got to be a category that you see over and over.
Actually, I think not everyone, most people, there we go, fall into one of three, let's call them flight paths, if I could say it, right? Number one, reset. I'm exhausted. I've gained weight. I don't know where to start. These people often need a strong foundation first. Nutrition, protein, strength training, sleep, stress management. And sometimes coaching alone changes everything.
So not everyone needs the medication.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. So that's number one. Number two is rebuild. These are the people doing everything right. They're lifting, they're walking, they're tracking food. Their body is simply not responding anymore. And this is where physician-guided therapies can become part of the conversation alongside coaching, body composition tracking, and medical evaluation. So I have a client who had already built incredible habits. She is a rock star before she started physician-guided retatrutide. So what that is, that's a GLP-3. That's another whole other podcast, right? 4 weeks on this specific medication, she was already down 2% body fat. I have another client, same medication, 5 weeks in, 3.5 inches gone. And she's prioritizing protein and she's lifting super heavy. Yay. And that accountability, right? Those aren't promises. They're examples of what can happen when the right tools support the right habits. So as far as I know I've thrown out GLPs, GLP-3, GLP-1, we're talking semaglutide, Ozempic, Wegovy, right? We're talking tirzepatide. That's like Zepbound or whatever the others are. And then retatrutide. There is not a patent on that yet, but it is in the works. So,
but that all comes from FDA sourced materials.
100%
Yep.
tesamorelin.
That's where you get it out of a pharmacy and not.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, and then number 3.
Okay, but wait a second. Before you jump in. No, what is it?
I want to say what the word is.
Yeah,
number 3 is optimize.
Okay. That Okay, so this one is for some. I think a lot of people confuse this because this is the optimizes for someone who's not trying to lose 50 pounds.
Right.
Okay.
Right. This is actually one of the fastest growing conversations we are having.
100% agree.
People come in and saying, I recover slower than I used to. My joints ache. I don't sleep. My energy wasn't what it was. I want to preserve muscle. I want to stay active into my 70s, 80s, forget that, 90s. Those conversations can look completely different than a weight loss conversation, right? Sometimes we're talking hormone optimization. Sometimes we're talking recovery. Sometimes we're talking healthy aging. And sometimes we're just talking about building more muscle.
I know we've gone way longer than we ever, but I want to keep this going. I think this is really good, but because I want to branch off what you just said. Can you give me some examples? Because I think when people hear peptides, they assume they're all the same. Because you've talked about GLP, you've talked about hormone therapy. Give me some examples.
Absolutely. So if someone is dealing with nagging injuries or recovery, I'm holding my hands up because those of you that know me know I have like osteoarthritis in my hands that was debilitating. Could not even cut my own food, which was very embarrassing in public, I will say.
I was your daddy. I had to cut her food for her.
But if someone is dealing with injuries or recovery, you may hear conversations about therapies like BPC 157, TB 500, KPV, right? Those two, BPC 157 and TB 500, are commonly referred to as the Wolverine stack. If you're not a total comic book nerd, Wolverine regenerated himself, right? Those are compounds that people ask about because of their potential role in supporting recovery, right? Now, if someone is more focused on healthy aging or skin health, there are peptides like GHK-Cu copper, right? It's copper, that are being explored for more like tissue repair or skin quality, right? If someone is struggling with growth hormone signaling or visceral fat, that fat underneath your belly button, right? In a very specific medical situation, therapies like tesamorelin may become part of that discussion. And some people are interested in just cellular energy, just kind of like feeling a little bit more energetic and healthy aging, liver recovery, kidney recovery, right? So those conversations might include like NAD plus or MOTS-C. The important thing is these are not interchangeable. They are different tools for different goals.
Yeah, and my next question was going to be, so what should someone be taking? But I already know that the answer, because you just, there isn't one best peptide.
No, there's only the best approach for your goal.
All right. So I think today, after everything we've talked about today, which is a lot,
4 more.
It sounds like there are dozens upon dozens upon dozens of options. And how is someone supposed to know where to start? Because if you're listening today, if you haven't done anything with this, you could be a little overwhelmed. But I know a lot of people have done research, but you still could be a little overwhelmed. So where do they start?
Honestly, they shouldn't try to figure it out alone. That is exactly why we built this program. Not to hand everyone the same product, but to help them ask the right questions. And I actually have a mother-daughter duo that are on different products. Because again, different goals, right? Maybe your answer is nutrition. Maybe it's coaching. Maybe it's hormone optimization. Maybe it's a GLP therapy. Maybe it's Wolverine stack and you can do your little jazz hands, right? Recovery support. Maybe it's something we haven't even talked about today. We haven't even talked about sexual health and libido, right? The point is your goals determine the roadmap.
So I love it. You've been awesome today. So if today's conversation helped answer some of your questions, that was our goal. We didn't want to dive in deep, even though we went longer. But if it helped you do that, share this with someone that might also do it. Now, if it raised some questions for you, that's okay too, because that means you're thinking. You're thinking about your health, you're thinking about your future, and you're thinking about the results that you're looking for.
Yeah. And if you're wondering which flight path, God, I can't even freaking say it. If you're wondering which highway to get onto.
There we go.
There we go. We would love to help. I would love to help. I would love to be of value to your life, right? The first step is not choosing a medication. It's having a conversation. I want to talk about your goals, your health history, your lifestyle, your nutrition. I'm not going to give you answers. I'm going to ask even more questions. We're going to talk about body composition. And if you have recent labs, yes, I want to see them, right? From there, we'll help you understand your options and build a plan that's personalized to you and your budget. No pressure. Not a one-size-all-fits solution. Just education, clarity, and a roadmap with a system designed for your life. Because within the Phoenix Method and in my heart and soul, I know Matt's too, we've always believed the same thing. The goal isn't to find the right product. The goal is to build the healthiest version of you.
I love that. Let's wrap there. Like I said, share this with anyone, but also if you have questions that have come out of this, shoot a DM. We'll get back to you. And anything else?
I'm going to stay silent now.
All right. We'll see everyone next week.